Hello, good afternoon to you and welcome to Midday Live here from the News Hub at Adisawe, Kanda. I'm Natalie Fort. Look at the top stories this afternoon. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company insists she will not step down as demanded by the board. Fresh baseline survey warns Ghana is losing its fish stock at a faster rate. And in sports this afternoon, as Ghana marks 17 years after the May 9 disaster that killed 127 people, we get up close with the referee who officiated the game. And on the international front this afternoon, European powers committed to Iran nuclear deal as President Trump announced the U.S. was withdrawing from the agreement. Well, we've got the details of these stories for you here on Midday Live, as well as some more news this afternoon, news from the world of entertainment. As always, our bulletin is streaming live all across the world on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. You could also watch us on DSTV channel 279. On to our very first story this afternoon. Workers of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company Limited Wednesday morning protested the suspension of the embattled CEO, Francis Esiam, by the board of the company. Francis Esiam, according to the workers, has turned the fortunes of the company around since she was appointed as CEO last year. The board of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company Limited on Tuesday, May 8, 2017, offered the company's chief executive, Francis Esiam, to step aside with immediate effect. The action came on the back of the impasse between the board and Madam Esiam over some of her decisions since assuming the post last year. In a statement Tuesday, after a meeting, the board decided that all contracts entered into by Madam Esiam have also been put on hold pending investigations. In the interim, the board has appointed the technical director of the company, Mr. Ezekiel Mensah, to act in the absence of Madam Esiam. And we'll stay on this issue a tad bit longer as the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company, Francis Esiam, says she is still at post and would remain at post until the Public Services Commission and the Energy Ministry takes a decision on her locus. She was suspended by the board of the company after a misunderstanding between them led to the closure of the company.
Please, for the sake of those who are from the English-speaking radio stations who communicate that way to the public, all I want to say is that I'm appealing to the union to appeal to the workers to go back to work. Government, State Enterprise Commission, and the Honorable Asamoah Boateng, the Executive Chairman, and the Honorable Brache Jako, our Minister, and the Ministry, and other stakeholders who actually supervise us on GCMC are working hard to resolve the issues, and in the shortest possible time, I believe the media and all Ghanaians will know what is happening.
Madam, will you accept the suspension?
All I'm saying is that the appropriate authorities, including the State Enterprises Commission, Ministry of Energy, are handling matters. So at this stage, I'll appeal for calm from all sides, restraint also by the media in publication, so that at the end of the day, when the authorities speak, then we all abide by what they say.
You mentioned that you are still the substantive.
And I'm saying that I'm the substantive CEO and I've come to work.
In resolving the matter, you have been asked to step aside, or you've been suspended, so the matter can come to a conclusive end.
I'm here because I'm the substantive CEO. That's all I will say.
So you are defying the directive?
I said I'm the substantive CEO. That is all I will say. But wait for government to work.
That they are not going to work. What kind of advice?
And I've appealed to them that they should work, because we need the income. We need to serve the public. The cylinders need to go out there. So work first in the interest of Ghana. So Ghana first. All other issues will be resolved by the appropriate authorities.
Ma'am, why weren't you at work yesterday if indeed that you're saying they should work in the interest of the state is at stake?
I believe that there's a union here, and anything that will be disruptive, care has to be taken to preserve property and also to ensure that everybody is safe. So actually, if yesterday there was nothing like a shutdown, so that's what I appeal to you, that there's a union here. And if you came and there was nobody here, then probably we're all busy doing other things.
You didn't ask them to stay off as the reports are.
My brother, I will not go into any extraneous matters. So please accept my position on this matter. I've been very willing to at least talk to you. So I think we must end it here and await what unfolds. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
And Madam S, I'm speaking with some radio stations in Accra. They will stay on that issue and bring you some more on it in subsequent bulletins. But let's turn to some other news this afternoon. As the Students' Loan Trust Fund has resolved it will use all legal means to recover unpaid loans disbursed in previous years. According to Chief Executive Officer Nana Kweku Eje-Yeboah, student loan defaulters must take steps to pay or face the consequences of not doing so.
The increase of the students' loan amount by 50% in the 2017-2018 academic year raised concerns among stakeholders in the education sector as a result of challenges the fund has been facing in the past. A student now takes a minimum of 2,000 Ghana cedis and a maximum of 3,000 Ghana cedis. Currently, the only source of funding for the Student Loan Trust Fund is the allocation from the GET Fund, representing 10% of inflows into the fund. It is estimated that about 380,000 students from both private and public tertiary institutions have benefited from the fund. Chief Executive Officer of the Student Loan Trust Fund, Nana Kweku Eje-Yeboah, says his office has adopted measures, including dragging defaulters to court to recover all loans disbursed in previous years.
It's our responsibility to pay back the loans that we take so that children yet unborn can also come and assess the loans.
Some university students say the loans have not been paid since the academic year began. Nana Kweku Eje-Yeboah says the delay was due to an increase in applicants.
I'm aware of, of some of them, and we've taken care of them. Initially, at the beginning of this academic year, the government fulfilled its promise. The loan, the minimum was 1,000. It's been increased to 1,500. The maximum was 2,000. It's been increased to 3,000. So this has generated a lot of interest in the students. So we're getting a volume of applicants who are seeking the loan. That initially accounted for why the loans were not disbursed timely, and I assured them that they're going to get their loans. So we're going to make sure that we pay, and most of them could write their exams.
Experts have suggested management of the fund should take advantage of other sources of funding, such as voluntary contributions, which are tax deductible, as well as mobilization of resources from local and international partners interested in the advancement of tertiary education.
Now let's turn to some other top news this afternoon. The incumbent national youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Sami Awuku, has filed to contest for the position of the national organizer. He was at the party headquarters minutes ago to file.
I'm going to play a key role, support national officers, support our president and our government to make sure that our party's base and grassroots is also kept alive and also kept excited. I will ensure that I coordinate the efforts of all volunteer groups, be it Invisible, Delta Force, Kandahar, and all that. I'll coordinate them under the party operations team. And the bad stories we hear about these mind groups, I'm promising you, you are not going to hear that again. So thank you so much for coming. And I can assure you that whatever we will do to ensure our party remains in government in 2020, we will do it. Thank you very much. God bless us. Yes, on AJ's behalf, And on behalf of all our party people, I want to also plead with you and to our colleagues in the media, forgive her. She's a very friendly person, which you know. And I'm sure once upon a time, once in a while, we all sometimes lose our guard. So on behalf of the party, we want to say we are sorry to the media. We have been with you through thick and thin. We repealed the criminal libel law because we loved you, because you also understood the essence of press freedom. That is not the character of our party. We thank you, and again and again.
I'm pleading to you all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm your mother, your sister, your auntie, your everything. Please, it won't happen again. I'm sorry. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, that's the apology that many have been waiting for. Hajia Fati, who was said to have assaulted some journalists, they're finally rendering that apology, as Samia Oku also spoke to that issue. We're joined in studio now by Richard Bright Addo. He's a broadcast journalist with TV3. Richard, nice to have you. Now, you were at the headquarters,
yes.
Okay, and many journalists and many Ghanaians in general have been waiting for this apology from Hajia Fati. Why exactly? Did she explain why she delayed of some sort to actually render this apology to journalists?
Well, so naturally, as usual, the Hajia was at the party headquarters to welcome Samia Oku, who was at the party headquarters to pick his nomination forms. And just, you know, as very characteristic of Hajia, you come and then she will have to welcome you. Unfortunately, in the other incident, she did not want to welcome the other person, and that resulted in the incident that we encountered or we experienced. And so when Samia Oku came, she accompanied Samia Oku to the top. Then Samia Oku picked the forms and then came down, and then Hajia decided to take advantage of the situation or the opportunity to stand by Samia Oku. And while Samia Oku was speaking, she indicated to the journalist around that she wanted to also say something. And that gave Samia Oku the indication that then Samia Oku needed to apologize on behalf of Hajia, which Samia Oku did. But that was not enough for Hajia. So she waited until it was her turn, then she apologized to Ghanaians and the journalist who was assaulted. And she sounded very, very apologetic.
Yeah, I was going to go
sober.
there because you were there,
yes.
You watched her body language. Saying an apology is one thing, but actually meaning it and being genuine is another. How did she come across? Did it come across as a really genuine apology? And how was it received by the other journalists who were there?
Well, let me say something. One interesting thing that happened was that before Hajia would apologize, she was going around the compound telling people and swearing that I am going to curse this journalist.
This was before the apology?
That was before. I am going to curse the journalist. I swear to God that I didn't touch her. I only hit the phone. And so why is she going around telling the world that I did this? I'm going to curse the journalist. Then,
and this was a few minutes before
minutes before that. Then, in a twist of events, we saw that she came standing by Samia Oku and trying to apologize. Well, as to whether she meant what she said, I can't tell, but she looks like somebody who was sober and all that. Yes.
But her action before the apology goes to question the genuinity of her apology.
Yes. And so a few of the journalists...
And was this action witnessed by other journalists?
Yes, other journalists also. So we tried to follow her up and just get some interview with regards to the cases that she said she wanted to invoke. Yes, no, I'm talking about the cases. Yes, but she wouldn't I think she wouldn't talk to journalists. And so because some of the guys, the party supporters, rushed and then cornered her of a sort, and then later on they will realize that she was back and she was a different person altogether. So she meant to do what she wanted to do, to raise insults and curses on these journalists that we're talking about. But then some of the party supporters pulled her in and spoke to her. And by the time she came back, she was a different person.
Could have been the influence of the party supporters there.
Yes, certainly.
Thanks for that, Richard Bright Addo. He's a journalist with TV3, giving us the details there on the apology rendered by Hajia Fati, the long-awaited apology. Let's turn to some other news this afternoon. Ghana's dwindling fish stock is not getting any better. A baseline evaluation report by Farbombo, a project funded by the EU, indicates total landings have reached their lowest levels, while vessels spend more than 20 hours at sea but return with no catch. Experts have blamed the situation on government for the weak enforcement due to lack of political will to crack the whip.
We are in the collapse. See, when you are collapsing and you have collapsed, it's like getting poor and you are now poor. We are in that poverty state now. And it is because fisher folks have not been allowed to play effectively in the policy implementation. There seems to be a low political will for government itself to go ahead with the implementation of plans that are made. By now, we have what we call the Fisheries Management Plan that was made from 2015 and is expected to end in 2019 next year. About 80% of the provisions in the plan are yet to be implemented.
A number of factors have contributed to the decline of fish stock, including overfishing, activities of oil exploration, climate change, the use of chemicals and light for fishing.
Canoe fishermen have contributed immensely when it comes to unorthodox, unauthorized, irresponsible, unsustainable fishing activities, yes. And therefore, IUU in this part of our country is a big problem too.
This is not peculiar to the marine sector. The inland fisheries is at risk too.
Somebody sits in the office who only read about fishing, but he's not the operator on the ground. And then he makes laws and then asks the operator to obey, whilst the operator is also not there to also share his views and expertise before the law is made. So I believe that government must take the fishing councils very serious.
Some fisheries associations blamed government for dragging its feet in implementing the laws, even though they are ready to comply.
Politics have taken over our fishing industry. The associations or the councils will put their own small laws together and then decide that don't do A or B. You arrest somebody who is doing that, and then the MP or the MC or DCE comes out, say he doesn't want to lose election, or even assemblyman, he doesn't want to lose election.
We should wake up and then begin to walk the kind of talk that we hear every day. Otherwise, it's just about talk shop. Meanwhile, the stock keeps on dwindling till we see fish no more.
We want the government to be very bold and then declare. We want the close season for the artisanal fishermen. The trawlers are doing it, but the artisanal fishermen, they have to start their close season. And that's willpower. We were told 1st May will be the day they will announce it. And right now we haven't heard anything.
The Fisheries Commission says they lack the resources for effective implementation.
In terms of the recurrent costs, getting fueling vessels, bunkering a vessel to go to sea, to go and do patrols, to go and do boarding, it's not an easy, cost. So money is a real, a problem.
To solve these problems, the European Union is funding the Farbombo project to promote fishers' participation in monitoring and reporting of illegal, unreported and unregulated IUU activities. Farbombo, meaning protecting fishing livelihoods in Fanti, which is being implemented by CARE, Friends of the Nation and Oxfam, also seeks to strengthen fisheries associations to engage and participate in equitable fisheries governance, including policy formulation and implementation. It is against this backdrop that the baseline evaluation was done as part of the 4-year implementation plan to provide an understanding of various indicator values identified. Stakeholders, including chief fishermen, canoe owners and other fisheries associations, were brought together to validate the information gathered. The survey was undertaken in 5 geographical areas: Central, Western, Greater Accra, Volta Marine and Volta Inland, involving over 1,000 smallholder fishers, traders and processors in 18 fishing communities.
You're watching Midday Live. Let's take a look at our MTN Video reports this afternoon as Stephen Afote, our citizen journalist, reports on the serious traffic jam on the Tanoso-Ibuakwa Road in the Ashanti region, which he describes as worrying.
The traffic situation here is very, very terrible. From Tanoso to Ibuakwa is just 2 minutes drive. But now, commuters use at least 1 hour to 1.5 hours to cover the same stretch. People at Tanoso and beyond. For MTN Video Report, this is Afote Steven reporting from Tanoso.
On Stephen's report, remember that you can also send your video report via WhatsApp number 05514330044. That's 05514330044. Any observations you make in your community. We've got some more news coming up for you on Midday Live shortly. Stay with us.
We all wish to have the perfect balance between work and the people that matter most to us. So, we are always on the quest to find ways to make this possible. With the many innovative and dynamic features that the UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed Up, offers, you get the time-saving convenience to help create this balance. You can transfer money, pay bills, apply for a loan, invest money, and do so much more right on your phone with the UMB mobile banking app. So, you can spend more time with those that matter most to you. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed Up, lets you bank conveniently anywhere and everywhere so that you can enjoy more time with those that you love and doing what you love most. We're good to go. UMB Speed Up, Digibank, let's go!
It's time to make a difference. Do not go for a degree that makes you just one of the rest. With over 50 years experience, Ghana Christian University College is a trusted partner to deliver education to secure your future. Enroll now for degree, HND and professional programs in accounting, banking and finance, human resource management, HIV/AIDS management, nursing, computer engineering, IT and systems, and theology, among others. Get up to 50% scholarship on our programs. For further information, call 0204 069 583 or 5765 33307 or apply online at ghanacu.com. Ghana CU, advancing excellence in transformational leadership.
Mama. This Mother's Day, TV3 is helping you say thank you, Mama, in a special way. Mami Mo. Win fantastic prizes like special spa treatment at Davis Palace, dinner for you and Mom at the Oak Plaza Hotel, a night stay at Royal Sanctuary Hotel, exclusive ticket to the pre-Mother's Day concert with a FIA at +233 Jazz Bar, with other attractive vouchers and hampers. What a lovely way to say Mami Mo. Simply share the story of an unforgettable moment with your mom on any of our social media handles with #MamiMo for a chance to win. We are celebrating the selfless mother this season. Sponsors: Perfect White, Onga Tablet and Seasoning, Yas Sanitary Pad, Dano Milk, Davis Palace, Oak Plaza Hotel, and Royal Sanctuary Hotel. TV3 and all our sister platforms wish all selfless mothers a happy Mother's Day. Mami Mo.
Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3News GH for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3News GH and at 3Sports GH. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3 GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
Welcome back to Midday Live. Let's carry on with our stories this afternoon. Ghana recorded a 21% increase in HIV infections across all age brackets between 2010 and 2016. Between that same period, new infections in persons aged between 15 to 24 also increased by 45%. This was made known by Aviation Minister Cecilia Abena-Dapa at the 4th National HIV and AIDS Research Conference in Accra.
Less than 2% of the Ghanaian population lives with HIV. Therefore, it is not just a moral duty to prevent the spread of HIV among the remaining 98% of the population, but it is the right thing to do. With the advancements in HIV prevention technologies, we need to rethink our prevention strategies. Prevention interventions must be redirected to focus on major sources of new infections, such as people involved in casual heterosexual sex and couples in stable relationships, while strengthening interventions for key populations.
And let's turn to some other stories this afternoon, as globally, about 289,000 children under 5 die every year from diarrheal diseases caused by unsafe water and poor hygiene practices, translating into 1 death every 2 minutes. Head of Policy, Advocacy and Campaign at WaterAid, George York, is therefore calling on stakeholders to invest in the WASH projects to save children from poor water and sanitation-related diseases.
A research by WaterAid and Paths Defeat Diarrhea Disease indicated that each year 155 million children under 5 are stunted as a result of infections caused by unsafe water, sanitation and hygiene wash. 58% of children die from diarrhea diseases caused by poor wash each year. Dirty water, inadequate sanitation and poor hygiene are closely associated with the leading causes of under 5 child deaths and illness, including diarrhea diseases, pneumonia and malnutrition.
We need to strengthen our coordination, we need to strengthen our integration, and we need to strengthen our investment for WASH and health as a country. If that is not done, whatever that we have as a country, we cannot achieve our SDGs by 2030.
To achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, stakeholders are to rapidly innovate, assess and scale our programs and WASH interventions to vulnerable areas and communities and invest in the early years of a child's life.
There's some believe that the feces of the child, for instance, is safe. But research has shown that it's probably even the most potentially dangerous fecal matter. So a mother can be eating, has a baby on the lap, the baby poos, he pours in the food, and she says it's okay. Because a child's breast milk, there's nothing wrong with it, but there is everything wrong with that. So how do we manage all that?
According to Head of People and Organizational Development, WaterAid, Antoinette Shaw, there's the need to promote comprehensive hygienic behaviors including complementary food hygiene, hand washing with soap and safe disposal of child feces. The research suggests the need to push and ensure all health centers, schools and communities are educated in the intersections of WASH.
Now let's turn to issues of sanitation, as over 2,000 sanitary inspectors have been deployed across the country to arrest and prosecute those who flout the sanitation bylaws. Now, the sector minister, Joseph Kofi Adda, has reiterated government's commitment to ensure that Accra becomes the cleanest city in Africa.
The Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, Joseph Kofi Adda, again made the pledge when members of Intervention Forum paid a courtesy call on him in Accra. He said the ministry has rolled out a detailed program aimed at achieving the government's agenda of making Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Joseph Kofi Adda stressed his outfit is ready to ensure that the government's vision is achieved in its first term of office.
Aspect of the enforcement of our bylaws, which involves the creation of a sanitation brigade, we call them. These are basically people who will be going around ensuring that you and I comply by the laws established by the various assemblies. That will furnish the modalities to engage and to give the orientation or training to them, and then start working.
The chief executive of the Intervention Forum, Nora Olenu, is demanding transparency, accountability, and the disbursement of the 200 million cedis budget allocated to the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources.
As an alliance in the wash sector, we thought it would be wise that we also make inputs or make some recommendations where the funding is coming from, as to how it will be disbursed, and then when. How much is going to sanitation, how much is going to hygiene, how much is going to water.
The society group and its allies presented a draft of their concerns to the minister.
You're watching Midday Live from the News Hub here at Desawe, Kanda. We've got some news for you from the world of business coming up shortly.
This Mother's Day, TV3 is helping you say thank you, Mama, in a special way. Mami Mo. Win fantastic prizes like special spa treatment at Davis Palace, dinner for you and Mom at the Oak Plaza Hotel, a night stay at Royal Sanctuary Hotel, exclusive ticket to the pre-Mother's Day concert with a FIA at +233 Jazz Bar, with other attractive vouchers and hampers. What a lovely way to say Mami Mo. Simply share the story of an unforgettable moment with your mom on any of our social media handles with #MamiMo for a chance to win. We are celebrating the selfless mother this season. Sponsors: Perfect White, Onga Tablet and Seasoning, Yas Sanitary Pad, Dano Milk, Davis Palace, Oak Plaza Hotel, and Royal Sanctuary Hotel. TV3 and all our sister platforms wish all selfless mothers a happy Mother's Day. Mami Mo.
Everything you need to know. Captivating. Reliable. Credible and breaking news. All at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.3news.com for all your reliable news. 3 News, news at your fingertips. There are lots of amazing stories out there. What we do on News 360 is to bring to you the most compelling news by teasing out the right pieces that bring the stories to life. My job is to present to you the news in the most gripping manner and asking the critical questions that bring out the needed detail out of the stories. My name is Alfred Okanse. Join me on News 360, Monday through to Friday, 7 p.m. on air and online only on TV3. This is how you take on the world. This is where you connect to the nation.
We are ready to take over and thrive.
But is that the case?
Red Sea for them to gain communications.
This is what reliable news is all about. And this is where it all begins. This is who we are.
I am Solis Rose Porting.
I am Isamon.
I am Natalie Fort.
My name is Alfred Okanse. News 360 every night, 7 p.m. only on TV3. The business news segment is brought to you by MTN, Universal Merchant Bank.
Welcome back to Midday Live. Time now for some business news this afternoon. And we start off with LPG operators in Kumasi who've warned governments to discontinue with the implementation of the cylinder recirculation module policy or face their wrath. The operators want government to institute safety measures in regulating their activities instead of taking over the business activities on the 7,000-strong operators. Our Ashanti regional correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar has been speaking with a spokesperson for the operators, Nana Collins Osei Tutu.
This model, which was introduced by the National Petroleum Authority, is to ensure that LPG filling stations are being sent outside the most populated area and also market centers. I will be engaging with the spokesperson for the association, Nana Collins Osei Tutu, and find out what their main concerns are.
Our main concern is that the policy should be withdrawn. We don't want this cylinder circulation, which will the effect on it to Ghanaians is very huge. So we, the operators of Ghana LPG Association, we term this policy as Kotobe Kuguma, in the sense that the policy is going to kill individual business. The policy is going to create an unemployment.
As an association, what measures have you put in place to ensure that there wouldn't be any major explosion?
All these explosions occur during the discharging point, and these trucks are being examined by MPA. So if there is something wrong on the trucks, the blame should go to MPA. We, the association, we are doing our very best to make sure there is sanity in the system. So the MPA should turn the blame on them to make sure the trucks coming to our station to discharge the product are well examined and secure. All that they are saying is that they are deceiving us. They just want to kick us from the business, and we are very opposed to this business. We are not going to surrender. We will do whatever to bring this policy to an end.
In some other business news, banking expert Dr. Richmond Ichiahene has stated that the involvement of telecommunication companies in the finance and insurance industry must be properly regulated to avoid negative consequences. He said this is because the National Communications Authority, the NCA, is not sufficiently skilled to oversee financial transactions, and the results of implementing improper regulations could be disastrous for the industry. Dr. Richmond Ichiahene was speaking ahead of the launch of mobile money interoperability system expected this month.
The present telecommunications market has seen rapid evolution. Telecommunication companies, telcos, are adapting their business models and realigning their operations to associated financial ventures. Telcos today are engaged in the provision of other services such as finance and insurance. The National Communications Authority, NCA, is the main regulator of telcos in Ghana. An expert in banking, Dr. Richmond Ichiahene, argues that the evolution and inclusion of telcos in certain industries has created risks that must be managed. He said there is a need, therefore, to redesign the regulatory framework to develop specialized regulators to oversee the new activities of telcos. He said, in the event that this is not done, it could result in significant problems.
Now they're going even into insurance. Is that what they were licensed to do? That is the beginning of our troubles. And they can also be capital flight. Because once you create that a myriad of institutions like insurance, the banking, the telecoms, money can go.
Dr. Ichiahene explains that it is prudent to learn from the examples of countries like South Africa who have done it before us and to apply the best of practices that have ensured success in other countries.
We should take our time and go and learn from other jurisdictions and see how these other institutions are being properly regulated. We should not only look at the outcomes, the risk involved, and the experience from other jurisdictions.
He encouraged banks and telcos to collaborate in order to ensure mutual growth and continuous survival of their business.
You can find more on that issue on our website. It's 3news.com. That rounds up the business segment this afternoon. Let's take a look at some other news. 3 Foundation, in partnership with MTN Foundation, has launched the Think Heart, Save a Child campaign. Now, the project seeks to provide funding for children suffering from hole in hearts to seek corrective surgery. Speaking on this issue, the Group Head of Corporate Affairs Media General Richard Ahiagle reaffirmed Media General's dedication to impacting the lives of many in the society.
Expensive, but thankfully we can do them here in Ghana without having to fly these children. So our funding goes straight into providing the surgery for these children.
MTN Foundation has health as one of its focus areas. MTN Ghana Foundation is injecting 200,000 Ghana cedis into this project, and we're looking at surgeries for 8 children annually. And we're doing this in partnership with 3 foundations.
You can find more on this project on our website, 3news.com. You're still watching Midday Live. We've got some sports news coming up for you shortly. Stay with us.
Mama, you're amazing.
She is motivational. She makes you optimistic. She calms your tensions. Always there to help you, embracing you with love. She is real. She is a mother. She is selfless. Selfless mother.
Hello, I'm Michael Otieji, and I'm poised to give you sports news at its very best. If it happens in the world of sports, this is your platform, Sports Unlimited. All the news, the exclusive interviews, the analysis, the scores, the statistics, and what it means for your favorite team, your favorite player, and your favorite sport. Sports Unlimited every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sports Unlimited. Sports news at its very best.
Sports Unlimited, Tuesdays to Thursdays, 10:30 p.m. right here on TV3.
Hello, welcome to News at 10. We're live from our studios here at Adisaudi.
When you miss News 360 at 7 p.m. because of a busy schedule, we'll serve you again with a smart recap tonight at 10 p.m. with a detailed dissection of the major news of the day, so you will never left behind.
They punched my face, used the gun to hit my wrist.
News at 10. News with a broader perspective.
My name is Stephen, and see you tonight at 10.
Segment is brought to you by Cowbell.
Well, hello, good afternoon. It's time to do sports here on Midday Live. My name is Yao Ofusula. Been on to our very first story. And it's been 17 years since the May 9 disaster hit the country. The memories of it has lived with many people, and the blame games have never been put to rest fully. The referee who officiated that match has broken the silence, and people said that he was at the center of the violence on the pitch, and he was the reason why the violence broke out and all of that. We spoke to Jacob Osensei, who officiated the match, and this is what he had to say.
The match ended. We went to as I mentioned, I went to the dressing room, went to shower, came to change. We went to a car park, we all left. You only get to a hotel, you are told there's something happening. Yes, something happened because that time, from the stands, the staircase was so narrow. Unfortunately, those in charge of Sport Council at that time never opened all the doors. So they were all passing through a narrow part. And for the Adekoka stand, that they peeled off the seat. That wasn't the first time. I officiated Olympics Okowu some weeks before that, man. In that time, they were peeling off. If you watch it, you see a Rastafarian, he and his group, that's what they were doing. They've been doing. So if I were a police person or a sport council person, I would just tell them, these are the people. Note them down, arrest them. But the police felt that they were destroying property. So they would scare them off by throwing, tear gas into the stand. And as they were running, they fell off that side. So you see that these things happen outside the main match. And so far as, to me, we were not directly involved with that end. And if you ask anybody, yes, I feel that someone losing a father, losing the son, losing a brother, that aspect. But the blame that was there, that is totally false, and I don't accept that. I always believe that we played our part well, and the technical people agree with me that it was a perfect match, well done. Because if you finish, a whole instructor comes to shake you, another instructor. Some of them, you know where even they throw their hand to, but still, they came to congratulate you that you've done well. I won't allow those who don't know the law to crucify you.
Now to more stories, and the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, says he is ready for ace investigative journalist Anas Aremia Anas' expose on football in Ghana. He told Graphic Sports that contrary to reports, the Football Association will not run away, and that as the head of football in Ghana, he should be and is interested in whatever affects sports in the country, and thus awaits the Anas' latest project, which is on politics and football. Right to the Ghana Premier League now, and the body has been defending its decision to interrupt the league calendar with a 2-week break. The break, according to the Professional League Board, is to allow Aduana Stars clear a backlog of up to 5 outstanding games. The interruption in the calendar will also feed into the hands of those who say the league is suffering from poor organization, but the Professional League Board says it is important to do this.
If you look at the fixtures, we are already in week 12, and then we have 3 games to the end of the first round. And you look at the number of games Aduana Stars have played, they have now 6 outstanding matches, and they are still in the CAF Confederations Cup. Next week, Wednesday, they will be playing Raja Casablanca here in Ghana, which means that they will have their 7th outstanding match. And it really won't look good on the table if Aduana have 7 games to clear when others have played 15 games. We don't want a situation where we will start the second round and then suddenly the board will say, oh, we are breaking the league for 1 outstanding match to be cleared. When the league gathers momentum, you come again that you are breaking for another outstanding match to be cleared. So the board took this decision.
Now to England, where West Bromwich Albion have been relegated from the Premier League after Southampton won by 1-0 at Swansea City on Tuesday night. Ironically, it was on the same day that their manager, Darren Moore, was named Manager of the Month. That result left West Bromwich Albion 5 points from safety with 1 game remaining. That's on Sunday's trip to Crystal Palace. It means their 8-year stay in the top flight has come to an end. But that's all for sports this afternoon. My name is Yao Ofosula. We will take international news next.
And now on the international front this afternoon. European powers say they are committed to the Iran nuclear deal after President Donald Trump announced that the United States was withdrawing from the agreement. The UK, France and Germany urged the United States not to obstruct its implementation. We've got more on that issue on our website, 3news.com. Still on the international front, new mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr, has laid out plans to bring radical transformation in governance to the capital of Sierra Leone, the world's 16th poorest country. Now, if successful, her model of line-by-line project management and community-driven accountability could be a case study for government leaders across the developing world. Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr is the daughter of a university professor and the director of a Christian NGO, Aki-Sawyerr. She launched her career in the private sector, first at accounting firm Arthur Andersen and then in real estate. In 1999, Aki-Sawyerr co-founded the Sierra Leone War Trust to help victims of the country's decade-long civil war. However, it took the shock of the 2014-2015 West Africa Ebola crisis to bring about a more permanent return for Aki-Sawyerr. Now mayor-elect of the 1 million-strong city, Aki-Sawyerr has already informed the Freetown City Council that she will review every government process. She has committed to working neighborhood by neighborhood to develop locally driven transformation plans. Aki-Sawyerr's track record has generated high expectations for her 4-year term, and with this, she will need to deliver results. At least 17 people have died in an area of northwestern Democratic Republic of Congo, where health officials have now confirmed an outbreak of Ebola.
It is the 9th time Ebola has been recorded in the Central African nation, whose eastern Ebola River gave the deadly virus its name when it was discovered there in the 1970s and comes less than a year after its last outbreak, which killed 8 people. Ebola is believed to be spread over long distances by bats, which can host the virus without dying, as it infects other animals it shares trees with, such as monkeys. It often spreads to humans via infected bushmeat. Before the outbreak was confirmed, local health officials reported 21 patients showing signs of hemorrhagic fever around the village of Ikoko Impenge near the town of Bikoro. 17 of those later died. Medical teams supported by the World Health Organization and medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières were dispatched to the zone on Saturday and took 5 samples from suspected active cases. After Congo's last Ebola flare-up, authorities there approved the use of a new experimental vaccine, but in the end did not deploy it, owing to logistical challenges and the relatively minor nature of the outbreak. The worst Ebola epidemic in history ended in West Africa just 2 years ago, after killing more than 11,300 people and infected some 28,600 as it rolled through Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Now let's return to issues on the Iran nuclear deal, as European powers say they are committed to the deal after President Donald Trump announced that the United States was withdrawing from the agreement. The UK, France and Germany urged the US not to obstruct its implementation.
European powers said they would work with the other signatories to the 2015 deal, Russia and China, which have stressed continuing support for the accord. In response, Iran said it would restart uranium enrichment if the agreement could not be salvaged. In a statement, President Hassan Rouhani said, "I have ordered the foreign ministry to negotiate with the European countries, China and Russia in the coming weeks." The so-called Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action curbed Iran's nuclear activities in return for the lifting of sanctions that had been imposed by the UN, US and EU. In a televised address on Tuesday, President Donald Trump said the US would withdraw from the JCPOA.
The Iran deal is defective at its core. If we do nothing, we know exactly what will happen. Therefore, I am announcing today that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal.
Well, more on that on our website, 3news.com. Coming up next on Midday Live is some entertainment news. In entertainment this afternoon, one-corner hitmaker Patapaa is billed to perform at the 2018 Ghana Meets Niger concert. Aside his one-corner song, many believe Patapaa has no other hit song to boast of. Reacting to his critics, he revealed that he will perform 15 songs on the night. Now, the question is, what exactly are those songs and where are they? As Patapaa is very confident that he will be performing his other top hits. It's still live here on Midday News. Remember, you're watching us all across the world on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. This bulletin is also live on DSTV channel 279. Now let's take a look at some other news in the world of entertainment this afternoon as we're bringing you more on details with regards to Patapaa subsequently. Now, still on the entertainment front this afternoon, who wins the 2018 Ghana Meets Niger, Ghana or Omo Niger? Now, the Nigerians are already talking tough a month to the musical showdown. Now, we'll certainly be following up on Ghana Meets Niger to see who exactly has beat that challenge there, as Patapaa will be performing in that particular concert. Now, Stonebwoy, Kwame Eugene, King Promise and some other artists will be performing in Ghana Meets Niger as we wonder who wins the 2018 Ghana Meets Niger concert.
And now, Nigeria win. We are talking of Ghana Meets Niger. We are bringing these people, only Stonebwoy, Kitty and Co, don't worry. Nigeria win. Only Whiskey, it conquer everybody.
Does it mean you don't see Stonebwoy as the first to reckon with?
We win. Whiskey, it conquer. It is false. Stonebwoy can conquer Whiskey and he will conquer Whiskey. If you say the Ghanaian squad are not strong enough, I want to tell you that it is not true.
That is a submission by Yemi, who is a Nigerian.
My brother, what do you expect? Yemi is a Nigerian, so he will surely defend a Nigerian. Don't you have the other artists?
There is Shatawale Sakod here.
Only Whiskey, it conquer everybody.
I am sorry, Omo Niger. We had the biggest song makers of 2017 on one stage. And then we are bringing in the biggest viral song that was big in their own country, Patapaa. So they can't tell me.
Patapichi's husband.
So they can't tell me that they're going to be a better side than us. It's not possible.
Right. We are going to shaku for them.
He is speaking in terms of Nigeria because he is a Nigerian. You understand me? So you will support the Nigerian camp. But when you go and sit down and analyze things critically, you know that Ghana is going to win this year. The battle has been won already. We shouldn't even argue about this.
Do it in an orderly fashion. And now I announce Ghana.
Well, sometimes it's Ghana Jollof and Nigeria Jollof. We'll see who would win this particular one with regards to music. Now, one-corner hitmaker Patapaa is billed to perform at the 2018 Ghana Meets Niger concert. Aside his one-corner song, many believe that Patapaa has no other hit song to boast of. While reacting to critics, he revealed that he will perform 15 songs on the night.
A huge crowd, and I was very scared.
As I said, for the first time, something is going to happen on the 9th of June.
20,000 people coming to watch.
20,000 people, it's small for me, as you know. Ghana Meets Niger, where Patapaa Day top, that very day is going to be fire. So we need billions of people. If you talk about people, you don't have to mention up 20,000 people. We need billions. Patapaa is going to be on stage like 30 minutes because we are going to perform
songs like.
Yeah, we are going to perform like 15 tracks. You know,
you have like 15 solid tracks.
Add more tracks. Ghana should watch out something different from Patapaa on the 9th.
And obviously we'll get Olale.
You see, Yabeyon Olale. So once you see the Obeti boom.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, we'll be looking forward to the other 15 songs that Patapaa says he's made. Now, Patapaa says his girlfriend is not called Patapichi, as she's been widely speculated. If she's not Patapichi, we wonder what the name of Patapaa's girlfriend is, or we'll certainly be bringing you more on what Patapaa's girlfriend name is in the following report.
For that concert.
Social media, baby, I'm almost a Patapichi, Miss Oya, almost a Patapaa, and a very Patapichi. You know,
it's like I have a girlfriend, but his name is not Patapichi, right?
Friend Patapichi and friend.
Why I do want to know my girlfriend name? What about make my girlfriend this on us? I didn't guess who I'm lying.
That
biggest interest my baby Sibiano married. Yes,
Well, Pastor Father never ceases to amuse many Ghanaians. And on that note, we round up Midday Live this afternoon from the News Hub. Thanks so much for watching our website. It's 3news.com for some more news. I'm Natalie Fort. Keep watching TV3.
Good morning, dear.